see what he can do here against our beloved head TO.
All right.
So it is going to be the Villager. Okay.
Yep, Villager and rocking the regular pit. I think Work in Progress usually goes Dark Pit, but I guess it depends on the matchup for him.
That might be, yeah. But I guess that makes sense. But we are going to see the Villager that Dalton is known and loved for. So.
Yeah, not too much happening thus far. Dalton doing a great job holding down that center stage, shooting out those slingshots. And this set absolutely going to make things as annoying as possible.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a rough one for either side because Dalton has a lot of tools at his disposal, but as you've seen a few times already, you've got the Guardian Overtars from pits, which are going to make a problem. You saw the Lloyd reflected, he had a pocket attack.
Did you see he went all the way underneath the stage to try and chase him with that arrow? That was really something special right there.
That is dedication. I respect that. And Dalton needed all of that recovery too, with how deep he went initially before going to the other side of the stage. But
I think coming into this matchup, things aren't looking too bad for either side. I think Villager in particular tends to do well versus some of the floatier characters, just being able to, you know, keep on that juggle game, keep on that pressure. And Pit does like to approach from those horizontal angles, loves to be throwing out forward airs, try and catch approaches and things like that. And Dalton is just stuffing out so well.
Isabel and Villager both have a really good way of dealing with, for the most part, float characters like you mentioned, but also characters that are just nimble in general. Like, the mobility factor is good, but if you're caught between disadvantage in a hard place, kind of how Work in Progress is now, it's not going to be great for the other side.
Right now, though, Dalton is the one that's struggling, trying to find a way, coming back to the ground, does manage to get that arrow to reverse just a little bit. And that percent lead is going to be racking up. Hopefully Work in Progress can get a little something soon, but jumping straight into that tree.
Just came out at the nick of time, too.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was so worried for Work in Progress there. We were putting ourselves below Villager, and I was like, those 3 turnips are going to come out. Like, you're gonna get bopped.
That's not somewhere you want to be, no matter who you are. You're probably going to get stationary.
Yeah, but the same can be said for DaltnPlays. Great job weaving around with those balloons on a balloon trip for that recovery. And we're just going to slow things down a little bit. No reason in particular to have to approach here. And yeah, those Guardian Overtars aren't going to get baited out too much after the beginning of the game here. Dalton just slowly chipping away further and further. Doesn't DI that correctly. That was some horrendous DI, but we are just barely going to end up living there. Work in Progress is just really struggling to find a way to close it out. Like, Dalton is doing everything in his power to just not even give Work in Progress the opportunity.
Yep. And that's what you want to do, like we've mentioned. Villager has the toolkit to just make life miserable for the opponent, but Pit definitely has things to throw out in return, but like you said, Work in Progress struggling to just like maintain a consistent advantage. Dalton, more often than not, just winning out on everything else and just still living to nearly 180.
I think one of the bigger weaknesses of Pit and one of the biggest reasons why it took quite a while for him to develop his place in the meta is like, when you want to get a kill with Pit, you usually have to make some kind of commitment. Look at that. Just getting the wood conversion into that forward air. DaltnPlays extending this lead once again. Like I was saying before, Pit really has to commit to getting kills, and he has a lot of really great tools at getting them, but if none of them hit...
Carrying every bit of the fireworks, that's amazing.
Finally, the dash attack able to get in there. Hopefully, turns a new leaf with a little bit of that momentum coming forward.
I see what you did there. But back to your point about Pit with commitment, that is very true. I know the likes of Pit mains, most notably around this area, Roast Beef and Alternates definitely can vouch for that, what I've seen with them talking about certain Pit matchups, especially for Alternates being the multi-main that he is. But I think Roast Beef has played Dalton a couple of times when Dalton's been able to gum down to Tech Chase and to other VT tournaments, and the same has been said. Like, Pit has to have advantage, he has to be able to commit, but also be able to win out, and that's something that Work in Progress has not been able to do. Scary situation there with a bowling ball and a tree, but going to be able to neutral get up out of danger.
Yeah, Work in Progress, really good job on racking up that percent, but now we're kind of back to the same situation we were on that first stock, right? Dalton is chipping away, and we're really, really struggling to find that consistent opening to actually finish your plate, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of this damage matters if you can't get the final hit.
No.
Down air, not quite going to do it. Just gets the invincibility on that balloon. Dalton, still not the best EI, but it is going to be enough. And such a huge lead to be able to work with, too. And now at this point, I'm genuinely worried if Work in Progress has enough time to even make it back in this game. Just with the way that Dalton is playing, as safe as he is, Work in Progress is going to really have to work for it for his namesake with only 80 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I expected this bet. Oh my.
Oh my god.
That was brutal.
Jack sat on the beanstalk.
Indeed he did. But no, I didn't I expected this like to be a bit of a dogfight. I just didn't expect it to take almost 6 minutes though. But it just, like we said the whole game, like Work in Progress just struggled to consistently get in and hold advantage against Dalton. And that's something that he's going to have to try to find here as we continue to be neutral ground, albeit going to PS2 for game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's just villager things right there, right? Is not necessarily the most explored character in the meta, but when you do get that lead, you can be pesky and you can make yourself really hard to get in on. So we'll see how Work in Progress is able to make those adaptations and see if we can actually, I think edge guarding is going to be a really big thing for Work in Progress here because, oh, we're just DI'ing it.
Villager
Hello?
Villager jab block.
True Infinite?
It's back.
Ban Villager?
No, you're absolutely right. Anyone who has played the Villager and Isabel main to this region, not just Dalton here on screen, but of course the likes of Single Eye, Gay Papa, Austin when he plays Villager, can all attest to the same thing. It's just, you have to have your brain about you at all times because of what you're dealing with.
Look, he went for it again. I feel like the kind of tools that Dalton is just giving out right now are a byproduct of the Acme Corporation and Fox just taking all of the props that are unused from backstage. We got Bart Simpson slingshot. We got the Acme bowling ball. I'm sure the Lloyd rocket came from Wile E. Coyote himself. That was a gift handed from his forefathers.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. We had to dig a little into the lore.
Work in Progress. Once again, this is kind of the same spot we were in the last game, but I want to see that adjustment from Work in Progress to actually end up taking it. Percent game is super close right now, and I feel like we're playing a much quicker game, and we're not necessarily succumbing to Dalton's terms.
There is definitely going to be a different side, at least to underneath the stage. Remember, we're not on small battlefield anymore. We're on PS2, which you can't go onto the other side. You have to go either in the corner or go back up, which for these recoveries, for these characters, it's not necessarily a problem, but if you run out of your resources, you're going to be in a bad place, and you don't want to be on trudging into the lower corner of PS2. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's just super unfortunate to see.
What I will say is nice to see is the turnaround from the previous game, Work in Progress, getting that back there and able to keep a much closer competition here in the first set of Wave C singles. We'll see if he's able to keep up this momentum as he does take the lead, I think for the first time in the set, really.
Yeah, he wasn't even able to take a stock off of Dalton until well after the halfway point of timer in the previous game. I think at the 4th minute. So good on him for finding a way to finally do what we've been talking about. Find a way to take advantage, find a way to make Dalton come to you and use it. Kind of find some combo game from Pit. He can definitely pull a combo game kind of out of nothing because of how flexible he is, but he has to be able to enact it because not that Pit like can't kill like immediately. It's similar to Mithra. Like it's not hard to accumulate damage, but it's hard to find the finishing touch, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think Dalton's been doing a great job of capitalizing on a work in progress's mistakes, but those mistakes that we saw from game 1, they're fewer and further between, and that's why he has the lead right now. And just the same as Pitt has to commit to a kill sometimes, Villager can be absolutely in the same boat. That up smash out of shield, though, is going to catch the unsafe back air, and we are once again at an even game. But the axe into the tree completely turns things around as Dalton takes the lead and also gets the RNG wood off of that tree chop as well. Very lucky to get just a little bit of extra percent, but work in progress is pushing Dalton into the corner, almost getting called out for using that neutral B, that pocket for that invincibility. It's kind of like a second air dodge for Villager, and it almost got him taken to game 3.
He's becoming a lot more confident with those edge guards, which is scary if you're Dalton. You saw it there off the side, down below, and like I mentioned earlier, this is PS2. If you get caught on
no!
He ran out of balloons! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he ran out of gas. I just realized, like, he didn't touch the ground.
No, he didn't. Work in progress, a huge game 2, forcing a huge game 3 in the set.
That's got to be tough as a Villager player too, because like at least Rob has the little indicator on the side.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you tell.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but like you kind of get an idea of like how much fuel you lose over the course of a stock, but you just don't see that often from Villager or Isabel. Yeah, so to game 3 we go. I believe we are running it back. No, we're going to triplats. Interesting counter from Dalton.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure about this counter pick, because I would imagine like Town and City, Callister, but no way we get the forward air kill. Oh my goodness. Choo-choo, we were on that train.
We almost got it, but still 0 to 45 and continuing here for work in progress. Definitely what you want to be doing, especially with the huge momentum shake you've had in that second game.
Yeah, and almost getting the edge guard there too. Dalton having to weave around it, just barely getting in there, but nice down smash to rack up just a little bit more damage. And work in progress is chipping further and further away. It doesn't matter if you have a killing problem. If you're in the lead by over 100% right here, you're no longer getting hit by any cheese, no jabs, or anything crazy like that. We're going to be having a good time. Up air going to continue to rack up more percent. We don't quite have the kill yet, but 165, maybe a forward throw, maybe an up throw, are certainly almost inevitable at this point.
In a way, we are seeing shades of game 1 with Dalton at a dangerously high percent, but this time, work in progress is having a lot more going for him. He's finding ways to pressure Dalton. He's finding ways to just accumulate damage, but like I mentioned toward the end of game 2, he's got to find the finishing touch and just keep holding advantage, keep making Dalton work for it.
You can absolutely tell, too, he's playing much more confident. He's much less scared to go in and actually engage and interact with Villager, because apart from neutral air, he doesn't really have a whole lot of great boxing options in and of himself. He's just bobbing and weaving around, not letting his tall stature get to him. Finally, keeping out those Guardian Orbitars for a little bit longer than anticipated. Dalton slapping himself in the face like for just a second there, looking like your big brother. Why are you hitting yourself? Sticking your hand.
I don't blame him. Like, granted, he was at 190-ish, but still, like, he got clipped where he didn't want it to be, and he's still a little bit of a rough place now. Now it is Dalton trying. His opposition is at high percent, very much kill percent, but has to find that finishing touch somewhere.
Gonna use the tree once again to force out the double jump. Work in progress, struggling off stage. If we can get this here, it's not gonna be looking too bad for Dalton. Oh, we do manage to get the back air, not the sweet spot though off stage. Another chance for work in progress to come back, but just narrowly avoiding that tree as well. We'll see if we can rack up a little bit more of that percent, but right now we're just in the rinse and repeat with the water can, and down air is going to take it off the side. A bit unexpected, but Dalton right back in it. Getting the jabs to start things out as well. Do we manage to get that stage control? Oh, I love the idea with the up air to catch that tech chase. Dalton is starting to come alive. Doesn't want to go out early into losers.
This is very much like the middle of game 2. Both players are just throwing out a lot of good combos, and advantage is just kind of seesawing between the two. There's not really a clear indicator of who might take the game, and it will probably end up like last game where it's going to come down to like either a huge mistake or something unorthodox for like to take the game, and honestly, it is anyone's game.
The biggest thing that I will say right now for Dalton is he keeps trying to catch work in progress asleep at the wheel, throwing out multiple projectiles at once, but especially with the bowling ball at ledge. And I wonder if he could get something bigger, right? I wonder if he could try and go for a 2-frame, maybe with the down tilt, or try and catch his jump on the ledge trap. That bowling ball, it's a very good tool when it works and when it's forced.
Yeah.
But if not, it can end up being a crutch that you are relying on for just a little bit too long. Both players right now. I think the player who ends up taking this first stock, or the second stock here, is just going to end up taking the game, right? Because that momentum swing is going to be huge.
Absolutely. And it's the same thing with a tree, too. Like, it's a huge, like, damage when you, like, get the full brunt of it. But more often than not, Work in Progress has been able to avoid that through getting up or just being patient on the ledge. Bowling ball got him that time, but Dalton's still very much in danger.
I will say, though, this is where Work in Progress was struggling in that game 1. And we saw that game 2, he was able to come back with a lead. But how do we actually deal with being down on the last stock where Dalton, the onus is on Work in Progress to approach, and Dalton just has free reign to sit in the corner, throw out the chip damage 3%, 5% at a time. I feel like he has to end up taking it here, but what a great option for Dalton. He hasn't ridden the Lloyd Rocket the entirety of the set and pulls it out at just the last second as a mix-up. Oh no! Oh, I was so scared.
Yeah, if Shades the other stock. No, he only rode it like even for longer than a second, like 2 other times in the entire set. So good on him to mix up that recovery and buy himself some time to reset his game plan out the other side of the stage.
Always got to be looking up those sleeves, seeing if we have any more tricks right on them. Work in Progress struggling once again. Worried for him. Shades of game 1, and Dalton is just looking to take this right here and right now. Work in Progress does eventually have to make that commitment to get the kill. Finally does it with the forward air, but sitting at 92% with a minute and a half left on the clock. It's crunch time. It's now or never.
Absolutely, Ariel. A lot of shield damage, but Work in Progress gonna hold on there. Oh, no!
Well,
nevertheless, an incredible set between these two, but it is DaltnPlays gonna hold down home advantage in his home tournament. Absolutely good effort from Work in Progress, though. That is some of the best Pit Villager gameplay I've seen in a while, like I mentioned earlier with the players that I saw.
Hold the phone